Project 2, Visualization. So in Project 2, you're going to think visually. You're going to create an illustration that depicts a visual thought. You may want to reference some lessons in previous weeks where we talked about thinking visually. So there are many options that you can take with this project. Of course, it's going to include the visually thinking and also include your skills with Illustrator. So an option may be to close your eyes and listen to a song of your choice and illustrate that, the visual thought. It may be to think about your favorite restaurant, your favorite food, grandma's house on Thanksgiving morning, Christmas cookies. Visualize that and create that. So every day we are presented with many situations in which our senses are stimulated. What do you think of? How do you feel? Turn those thoughts into something tangible or concrete, so to speak, in an illustration. So you're going to think about color. You are going to think about typography as you are visually thinking these thoughts. Now note, if you are doing a song, I don't want you to replicate the cover or the CD art. And you also, if you're going to do a song, need to submit a clip of that song or the music when turning in the assignment. So again, reference some of those previous lessons on visually thinking to help you start with this. Now, a couple of thoughts to kind of critique yourself, to analyze what you are doing here. The critical thinking section. So not that you need to answer these, but think about them and reflect as you're doing your project. How is the color used to affect the mood created by design? How is symbolic color used in visual communication? Does memory color, or the color we expect to see, expect objects to be, affect that graphic communication? An example, stop sign's red. What if a stop sign is green? And how do specific color schemes affect perception? So you're going to obviously include some color components in this visual thinking exercise. And then some just self-reflection here, thinking about your overall design and how does design differ from personal artwork. Remember, this is more of a kind of meet halfway type of project because artwork is for pure pleasure, design is for a communicated message. So are you communicating something? Try to. Is this, when you think of what's a good design, what's a bad design, what's a good illustration, what's a bad illustration, think about all those things as you're doing your project. The second page here has the rubric. So if you need to, go through and understand how you're going to achieve your grade. So the criteria being technique, that, I see that you have a superb understanding of the software techniques and processes. So that's your grading rubric. Now, like I said, this is a little bit more of an abstract type of project. I'm going to show you another component that needs to be submitted with this project, and that is the design brief. And a design brief is basically a written explanation outlining the aims, objectives, and milestones of a design project. For this project, you are going to complete this. If an audio source has been used, then you need to, of course, include that. But initially, I want you to think about your time. You're going to estimate how much time am I going to spend in this project, and then accurately to the close 15-minute, half-hour increments, tell me how much time you really spent. Now, this is a good task in that you start analyzing how long does it take you to do things. And if you're working with a client, it helps in how to figure out how to charge a client or how much time you need to give yourself to do a project. The criteria that I do want you to include, the Illustrator criteria, including typography, utilizing the character and paragraph settings to control the appearance of that typography, create and manipulate basic shapes, utilize various transformation tools, use the color and swatches panel to control color, and demonstrate the use of layers. Now on some of these items, I do want you to include notes to tell me how you did this. it would be okay to submit an extra document in the Dropbox, or you can add these comments in the notes section when you upload your Illustrator file. The second piece here is just to kind of, again, self-reflect. I want you to rate yourself on the following criteria on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest score, 10 being the highest score. How would you rate your project? How would you rate it on creativity, originality, and innovation? 1 to 10. Again, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. You are going to rate yourself on commitment to the project and dedication, on your aesthetics, again, that's the look and feel, and on your talent with Illustrator. So this documentation, in whatever shape form, needs to be submitted with your project, and there is some points associated with that. If you have any questions regarding the project, please send me an email or chat in discussions.